Another great singer to look at their Bazi Chinese Astrology is Dolly Parton. Oh my gracious, what a long, illustrious career Dolly has had. And I have such a story to share with you today. So welcome. This is Lydia with the Feng Shui and Bazi Chinese Astrology channel. If this is something that you're interested in, please subscribe, like, and hit the bell so you don't miss a single one. And I welcome you to put in the comments any questions that you have or suggestions of other celebrities you're curious in knowing what their astrology is about. So really and truly, our Bazi Astrology is the journey that is your soul's life, what you are here to learn and how you are going to grow. So some of us are born with charts that are very afflicted, that we come in with so much to learn and so much of a journey, upward battles and everything. And others of us have great successes, and most of us have a little of both. Anyway, if you are interested in your own Bazi Chinese Astrology reading, you can do an oral reading with me or a written. I'll put the links down below and you can check that out. I also do virtual Feng Shui consultations. I am a traditional Feng Shui consultant and also a master Bazi Chinese astrologer. So again, welcome. So Dolly Parton's born January 19th, 1946 at 2025. And so she's born before the change of the year. January is still considered the year before 1945. So her chart is yin wood rooster. The rooster is yin metal. So that's yin wood sitting on top of yin metal for her year. Her month is yin earth ox. And the ox is yin earth, so that's double yin earth for her month. Her day is yin water snake, so that's yin water sitting on top of yang fire. I'm going to talk a little bit about her marriage. It's really shocking almost to see a celebrity who has had so many decades, like 60 years of celebrity and success and stayed in the same marriage. All right, so her hour is yang water dog. Yang water is sitting on top of yang earth. So I'll show this to you. Sometimes I print them out. Sometimes I'm writing on scrap pieces of paper. So one of the things I look at is the flow. What's going on in this chart? What are the core animals, right? So we've talked about how your year is you're like the umbrella. There's aspects of that are peppered into your personality and your journey for sure. Then your day master is really truly you. That is what that element that is sitting on top. So her yin water is her signature. Just like me, we're both yin water people. And everything around that defines your relationships with other people. And the way that I look at that is, as a yin water soul, what you are looking for from, or what you are experiencing in this life from your mother, your father, your children. Are you having children? Your romantic partner. And within that is also recognizing, all right, and this is where doing family astrology, which I've done with some people, is so fascinating. For instance, my brothers and I, when you look at our relationship with my mother, each one of us came into this life to have a different journey with her. Mine was very fractured and challenged. One of my brothers, she was a best friend. And for another of my brothers, she was a mom. Each of us came in with different medicine, with a different path in that relationship. Then what's also interesting is to look at my mother's chart and to see what she was gleaning from her relationships with her children. And in that, we can see disconnects and alignments. We can see how our relationships misfire, and we can't understand why. You come in, for instance, thinking that your husband is going to be your best friend, your partner, somebody that you enjoy doing fun things with, and then you get with someone and it's not that. Something doesn't feel right. What's going on? You look at his chart. His chart says that he's looking for a mom. That's not equals, right? So that's where we can learn so much about our relationships in regard to this. So Carl Dean, gotta love Carl Dean. It's perfect Tennessee name. Born July 20th, 1942. Sorry, part of my upbringing is the Eastern Shore of Maryland, and I can slide into a country accent faster than you can blink. It's almost like I feel like I have two dialects in my language. Anyway, July 20th, 1942, not doing a full read on Mr. Carl Dean here, but just to say this is an odd pairing, and especially the fact that since the age of 20, she's been married to Carl Dean. He's born a Yang water horse year, the month of Yin fire sheep, and the day of Yang wood dog. Now, as a Yang wood person, she, as a Yin water person, is kind of like misty dew around a tree. She offers something to him. It's not a whole lot, but it is something. That's just their elements. Now we look at what is going on to make this relationship work. Astrologically, according to their zodiac animals, it doesn't feel quite as an alignment. Sorry, I needed to lower myself. I kept feeling like I was going out of the screen because I know I move around a lot. So you've got her born on the day of a snake, and snakes and horses might make great friends, but as far as lovers, it's not a huge attraction. Then you have his day. If you look at their days, the snake and the dog, the snake leads and the dog is just obedient. And so it's kind of like if she's the leader going off doing her own thing, he's just obediently staying at home, happy as a lark. Her born in the year of the rooster, not surprising being a singer, right? That's shown up so many charts that we've read this on this channel about singers having rooster days and rooster years and rooster hours. Roosters are really like, roosters and horses, it's like there's a lot of what we didn't see of these two, which is being socially active and out on the red carpet together. I think that she has mostly gone out on her own. The horse really is someone, he is someone that needs to be independent and on his own and having free range to do his own thing. And maybe that was okay. As a rooster person, maybe she just went off and formed her career, and that was her space in order to thrive in, and he had his and has his. The rooster and the dog, if we look at her year and his day, that's not too much of a match either. You've got a barking dog and a crowing rooster. Blah, blah, blah. A lot of noise. So in that regard, I'm not seeing a whole lot of connection here in a way that says, yes, to spending a lifetime together. So then we go and look, all right, well, let's see what are the qualities that each is looking for. For him, he is seeing this as a love, very tender and sweet. He's also seeing this relationship as something that financially is beneficial. It is the place of family, and kind of that family is the nest. In the core of this relationship is family, even though they didn't have children. And also intelligence, an intuitive connection, somebody that is innovative and unique in how they live their life. So he's looking for somebody that does things differently, not status quo. Certainly got that, right? And what is she looking for? She's looking for someone that she shares wealth, success, property, more of those tangible things that are money, home, property, all that stuff. But it's not home like for him. Home for him is the inside. It's the experience of family home. And she is also looking for someone who is nurturing, patient, compassionate, gentle, and soft. And rooted down in there is the husband, is the family, is the nest. And in that when you see the signature for marriage rooted in the day pillar, it shows a far greater chance for longevity in a relationship. It's anchored in there. And so the fact that they both are in agreement astrologically to have money, an interchange of wealth amongst them is great, right? And the fact that he is looking for someone who is unique and smart and interesting, and she's looking for someone who is nurturing and comforting and almost maternal, this feels like it does work. In the end, it does work. And I think part of the reason this marriage has worked so long is that they each have given the other the room and the space in the marriage to do their own thing. Yeah. And I've heard of some marriages in which they live in separate homes because that space gives you room to breathe. So let's look at more of her chart. All right, so interesting. I was shocked at how long she'd been married. I was like, wow, that is really amazing, beautiful. So when we look at her hour, that shows children and your career. Now we know she has no children. But the Yang water dog here shows that this is someone who plays roles. She puts on her wigs. She has worked in film. Working 9 to 5 comes to mind with Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin. Such a fun film. And she was in others as well. She's the godmother of Miley Cyrus. And she's coming from a one-room cabin, dirt poor, in Tennessee. What a thing. Kind of makes me think of Oprah, who also comes from great poverty and hardship. And she's like the fourth of 12 children. She has sold more than 100 million albums. She is innately an artist, a networker, and a leader in her industry. I don't know anybody, whether you listen to her music or not. I'm not a big country music fan. That's just my interest in music. Still, I have great respect for Dolly Parton, and I'm aware of her music and her journey. So her hour shows someone that plays those different roles. It makes perfect sense that she would be in acting as well as in music. And this has a strong signature for her career. It is strong, front and center. That Yang Earth holds her career. As a water person, Earth is what controls her. So then, tucked inside of that is someone who is rooted in her faith and in the desire to inspire, watching a pair of bluebirds out the window, to inspire others, and then also tucked further down, is wealth, is the ability to generate income. And that is really like secondary to everything else, is that she is there as herself, playing this role of singer, of actress, of author. I mean, she's got an amusement park. I mean, have you gone to the Dolly Parton website? My God, this woman is an industry within herself. Amazing. I'll put the link for you. Really, whether you're a fan or not, it's so cool to see how much this woman has done. So there is so much energy pumped in here. And Earth is her strongest element. As a water person, she's 21%, metal 23%, what nurtures her. Earth as her ruling element, 38-40% possibly. And that is the pattern of her chart because she's born in January, cold Earth. And so that Earth is so very strong. Now her hour, the dog, is hot Earth, warm Earth, right? And so, yeah, we're seeing this Earth pattern. And because Earth is strong, metal is balanced, that gives her, and I've talked about this before, you want your ruling element and your resource element strong enough to support success and longevity in your career, and she has that. Her weakest elements, wood and fire, that's her ability to motivate, create, and also manifest. And that wood and fire, when brought into her chart, will bring out more activity, more of that motivation to do and create and to reap the rewards financially. So all of this to be said, and I know this is going to be a long video because I want to do her whole life because it really is such a rich story. This is someone who is organized. She's got her ducks in a row. She is someone who keeps things organized, and that is something that she really prefers, right? And she's also somebody with an incredibly strong work ethic. She's honest. She's honest and true. She's also someone who has her head in the clouds, that she loves to dream and have lazy bonbon moments in her life. She's a romantic at heart. She loves to be social and be around people. That is such a signature of someone born in the year of the rooster. And she has great potential for wealth and success in her life. And in addition to that, she is someone who loves all beautiful things. She loves to surround herself with beauty. She has a sense of fashion and style, and she loves life. She lives it big. If she had gone down a path like many celebrities, she could have been into drugs, alcohol, and abusing romantic relationships. And instead, she has channeled it all into her music and her craft. And it's really an incredible library of things that she's accomplished in her life. It's rather shocking. So all of that to be said, this is someone who really is just a tremendous soul. And her, just to say, this is another, just remembered this, another really cool thing to recognize about Dolly Parton. Her husband, born in the year of the horse is her life pillar. And I don't know that I have seen this before, but this so struck me yesterday that having that horse as your life and your husband being born in the year of the horse aligns you that this is your destiny. This guy is your destiny. There's your horse. And this life is so much about the roles that she plays, the people in her life, her circle, her audience. And it's about her father, poor man that he was, the influence that he had on her. But also love. Love is a strong aspect, just like a pink glow is just always around Dolly Parton. And she has an ability to always generate money. Lastly, her career will always challenge her. It will push her. It will sustain her and it will push her. It will challenge her. And it also speaks of authority figures being shitheads, whether that's her parents, whether it's relatives, whether it's industry executives. This is not an easy path. She is going to have to fight her fight in order to stay in the game. And we've seen that as well. So we start out, she was born singing, and her first luck cycle was at the age of 5, April 28th, 1951. We all have these luck cycle periods. And when that first luck cycle comes in, it is when you have your energetic umbilical cord severed between you and your mom. And it's not to say, as in this case, that your mother is no longer in the picture. In fact, her mother was a very strong part of these 10 years, but it wasn't that intimate initial connection. After all, her mother's got a bajillion children. So no doubt at the age of 5, there's so many other kids now being born that, of course, her mother could not continue that level of intimate connection. This was a time of change for her, of being so smart and innovative and creating things already. There's focus on money, and she was poor, on property and moving. And maybe they moved house when she was 5. Often when your first luck cycle happens, something really dramatic happens in the family home. And this is about home. It's about her responsibilities. It is about her going to school and coming home and helping her mom and her dad. So this was a yang metal tiger period. And in that we have metal, which, right, is nourishing her, and wood, which is doing what? Motivating her into action. But her wood is harmed. Because the tiger and the snake form a semi-punishment that speaks of accidents and health concerns. Going into her next luck cycle, 1961, ages 15 to 24, it is now a yin metal rabbit, and that's a conflict. Yin metal and yin wood. It's like scissors cutting flowers down. This was interesting because the rabbit challenges her year of the rooster in a battle of wood and metal, what she is motivated by and what nourishes her. In this luck cycle of ages 15 to 24, she got married to Carl Dean in 1966. In 1967, she had her debut album, Hello, Dolly. Hello, I'm Dolly. And this whole period didn't talk about family. It didn't talk about work. It was all about faith, education, and finding backing, finding support, like a record label. And this is also about a joyous expression of creative talent. That's it. And yet, in all of this, she got married. 1966 was the year of a horse. So Carl Dean, being born in the year of the horse, her life pillar being the year of the, or being ruled by the horse, feels very aligned, if you ask me. These two getting married like that. All right, so we move from this period into 1971. This is interesting. 25 to 34, Dolly Parton now has Yang Water Dragon. The Yang Water is showing her a new side of herself and a new audience as she begins an acting career in greater zest than maybe before. Now she's got that movie 9 to 5 and other movies that she's doing. The dragon is all about her marriage, her career, and all of her responsibilities. It's also highlighting creative pursuits and her actions, and also that at the core of it all is her authentic self, her authentic voice being heard. It's also interesting to note that she didn't have children because daughters were all over her, that 1961 luck cycle and the 1971 luck cycle. Kind of makes me a little sad. Anyway, so the other note with that dragon year was that was earth and water, right? And yet that dragon bangs up against her career. This is so interesting. That dragon in 1971 to 1981 banging up against her career weakened water herself and weakened fire, what she manifests, usually that's money, and boosted up earth. And so what that really is looking at, this is all about her career this decade. And within this career, there is a conflict, this banging. And I think what really this was speaking to was lots of big shifts from singing to acting and other projects. Now we get to a yin water snake. This is getting very personal. This mirrors her own day pillar. This is all about her in 1981. And again, you know, this might have been when she was getting involved more with movies, but this snake speaks of big wealth, success, fame, travel, touring. It's also about taking care of legal problems, legal issues, mention of her mother, and also mention of Carl Dean and her marriage, of her responsibilities and her job. So we come to 1945. I'm sorry, to the age of 45 to 54, 1991. This is very interesting. This is mirroring her life pillar. Yang Wood Horse is surging in huge amounts of fire. During this time that was ruled, that horse, remember, brings up the father, extra income, her health, and challenges in her career. A lot of big challenges and changes, shifts happening. And in general, that Yang Wood is also the energy of lots of change and kind of intuiting, what do I want to be doing next? Do I want to stick with country? Do I want to get a little, change my flavor of music? Do I want to be doing this or that? Maybe starting a theme park. Interesting that her dad is so strong in this decade because he died in 2000, just at the very tail end of this luck cycle. And so there's all of this fire pumped into her chart during this time. And this is where we see huge wealth. Now, 2001, this is Yin Wood sheep. And the sheep, along with her ox and the dog, form a full punishment. Now, this punishment is already in her chart. Her month and her hour, dog and ox, form a semi-punishment showing stress from her family. You think you're born in poverty and you're part of 14 children? I bet there was stress in the family. So now this is really expanding. We've got some situation going on with family that is causing her a lot of stress. In addition to that, this sheep is banging up against her month of the ox, suggesting that there is harm happening in the relationship of older siblings and her mother. And in fact, her mother died during this luck cycle. Often when I see a luck cycle that is challenging the month, I see that's where parents often will pass away. In 2006, she got the Kennedy Center honors. She's starting to be recognized. She's getting awards. This is a time that highlights so strongly her joy of all that she's creating. So much motivation. And yet her career continues to be challenged and continues to go through innovation and change. She's earning money. And she is, it's just like there is so much enjoyment. And that takes me back to Dolly Parton just loving life. And she comes out so big on the stage, such a rooster. And I would venture to guess the rooster really is her strongest outward statement to the world. The snake is much more behind the scenes, intuitive, kind of checking the scene out, using her brilliant intuition that snakes innately have to see what's going on and where do I need to be next, right? Kind of very good for strategy. But the rooster, that's her voice. All right, we get to 2011. We're almost up to where we are today. Now, her last luck cycle was 2011, ages 65 to 74. Here, things are changing. This is Yang Fire Monkey, and Monkey is Yang Metal. So Yang Metal and Yang Fire, there's a conflict with that. And this is showing, again, that fire is bringing in so much money and wealth and success for her. The monkey, as Yang Metal, speaks of all things mother, the mother archetype, the maternal, the goddess, also dealing with lawsuits and things like that as well. And it can also just be like simple things like you move and you've got to take care of legal paperwork when you buy a house, or, you know, you're getting your affairs in order, whatever. So there's also aspects of her in that time that were, again, still playing different roles and finding her footing as her job is changing and things are going on. And rooted down in that luck cycle was her work, her home, and her marriage. But this monkey brings in a semi-punishment with her snake. And it'd be interesting to know what was going on that was causing her possibly legal problems and health issues. Maybe you know something I don't know. Anyway, 2011, when this luck cycle happened, is when she got the Grammy Lifetime Achievement Award. In 2016, she and Carl Dean renewed their wedding vows after 50 years of marriage. And a full metal trio with this monkey, her rooster, and the dog really is emphasizing all the support that she is getting. And that support is awards. That's one way we are shown our value, I guess, or our accomplishments, our talents. Now we get to this luck cycle. She is at this time 75, going towards 84 years old. 2021, Dolly Parton moved into a period of a yin fire rooster. And this is about love, and it's about her health, and it's also all the money that she continues to garner. It's about her faith. It's about her backing, and it's about what's inspiring her. And I want to say that this year, 2024, is very much highlighting change in her life and how she is navigating that change intuitively, taking her life in new directions. This year is also highlighting this beautiful marriage and her responsibilities to all of her life, including her work, and she is not slowed down. She is enjoying this work. She's putting herself in it. She's loving the continuation of her audience. This just feels so beautiful. And I'm going to leave it here with one of my favorite quotes from Dolly Parton. My dream was to make so many people happy as they could be in this life. You know, and I think for all of us, we want to leave a legacy behind in which we have made people happy, that we have lifted people up. And so I'm going to leave it here. And that was a long read, but I wanted to share her whole life because it is just such a journey. And I hope you've enjoyed it. Until next time, friends, be well.